Dallas pulls out a photo finish, a 3-point win over the Clippers. So the series now tied 1-1, and they head to the Lone Star State for games 3 and 4. Now, the better story is in the losing locker room, and that's where we're going to go first here. So let us discuss the question as we get into game 2. Who gets to wear the proverbial kick-me sign for the Clippers as they lose at home, and the series doesn't start till the team loses at home? Well, the series has now started as the Clippers go down there on Skid Row to the Mavericks. So I've got Tractor Supply, Ritz, and 1980s infomercial. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make cowboy boots, which you'll see a lot of if you go to Game 3. Not Game 2, but Game 3 back in Texas. So, on the Clippers side of the ledger here, there's plenty of blame to pass around here, and you can point the finger here, there, and everywhere in this particular game. The game was one of those games. It was like left for the Clippers in the free library box. They didn't deserve it. They had no business having a chance to win this game. The fact that they had a lead is going to the fourth quarter. Now, it was because Luka is a knucklehead and got called for a technical foul with less than a second to go. But they still had a lead, a 1-point lead going to the fourth quarter. The way the Clippers played in the first half, I was texting a friend of mine, they're going to lose by 25 points. They should be down by 25 points. I don't know why they're not down by 24 points. It makes no sense. And yet, still in the end, they futzed around, and the Clippers decided they did not want to open that little library box with the free books and all that. And in terms of the individual players, because we name names here. That's what we do behind the microphone, the bully pulpit. We name names. So I've told the Clippers have this Hall of Fame trio with James Harden, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard, and collectively, they were mid. They were just middle of the road. There was nothing spectacular. Nobody stepped up. They all had opportunities on the launching pad in the fourth quarter to take over the game, and none of them had the ability on that night to take over the game. In the fourth quarter, to give you an idea, Zubats, he led the team in scoring in the fourth quarter. Now, he didn't do much in the first half and all that, and that's nice that he led the team in scoring in the fourth quarter, but that's not how it's supposed to go. That's not how it's supposed to go. And we must circle, and I did circle. I wrote a note. I circled Kawhi Leonard's name because Kawhi Leonard made its much ballyhooed return. Be careful what you wish for. So Kawhi Leonard back after missing 9 games, and while his final numbers were not terrible, they weren't horrible. It was all right. It was passable. He did not make enough impact plays. You're not paying Kawhi Leonard to be a jag, just a guy. You're paying him to take over games that are close in the fourth quarter. Otherwise, you can get some guy out of the European Basketball Association that can put up mid numbers. You don't need to pay and put all the effort and massage the shoulders of Kawhi Leonard if he's not going to take over games at the end. He didn't take over the game. The game was right there. He didn't do it. It's a bad job by him. And so most of the time, he didn't even play in these playoff games. The fact he actually played is amazing. He usually misses them. But Ty Lue, here's the advice. Ty Lue from the Maller think tank. Ty Lue needs to go to Tractor Supply Company and get one of those 55-pound drums of WD-40 and work away the rust before Game 3. Because what I'm seeing, like the Clippers are a better team. They should win this series. But you got to win the close ones. Yeah, you make the plays at the end. Based on the first 2 games, that's the analysis. I don't know how you could disagree with that. Now, turning the page, from the Dallas side, how satisfying is this Game 2 victory for the Mavericks? And on the Maller scale of satisfaction, the arrow on this one is pointing to not very. Let me explain. Let me make my elevator pitch why this should not be very satisfying. It would be inaccurate to say that the Mavericks played a good game, that they played well. I don't think they did. Both teams were playing hot potato. You remember when you were a kid, play a game of hot potato. And when the music stopped, the Clippers were the ones holding the beanbag. And if you know how it works, I mean, you hold the beanbag, you're out. And so they had to go to the penalty box and they lose the game. But it was a room service situation, like room service at the Ritz. And the way the Clippers played, again, I thought they would be down by 25. I thought they should have been down by 25 the way they played. And yet they still had a shot in the fourth quarter to win the game. And that's a testimonial to the Mavericks and their incompetence there. Because the Clippers' room service delivery, Mavericks opened the door. All they had to do was push the cart in. And they almost tipped the whole cart over, and the spaghetti and the meatballs were going to fly everywhere, and then the last minute they saved it. The Clippers were dining on kibbles and bits in this particular game, and yet, again, they had the lead going to the fourth quarter. Explain that. It makes no sense. Jason Kidd's team overall, first two games, not impressed. I am not impressed with what I've seen from Dallas. Everything I read was how dominant this Maverick team is and how they're invincible and nobody can stop them. I haven't seen that. Have you seen that? I haven't seen that. I have not seen that. Bad perimeter defense. Clippers didn't shoot the ball well, but they were missing wide open three-point shots. If anything, it was the air conditioning system at the crypt that was keeping the ball from going in. It wasn't because of any Maverick defense. I didn't see any. Did you? Maybe you've got better eyesight than me. But the Mavericks, again, I go back to the point, they failed to capitalize on the shoddy offense by the Clippers, and they should have blown the Clippers off the court. The fact that they didn't should be a point of positivity for the Clippers. They played a terrible game. I don't know if they can play much worse, and they still had a shot to win the game in the fourth quarter. All right, last word here. We head quickly to Milwaukee. Back in the day, Doc Rivers was the coach of the Lob City Clippers. Now he's ruining the childhood of young fans in Milwaukee who worship the Bucks. So Pascal Siakam, I got to be careful how I say that name. Our favorite player on this show collectively is Pascal Siakam. So he painted a masterpiece in this game. 37 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, and I'm not going to lie. That Minnesota-Phoenix game, we'll get to that later. That game was not that close. I turned over to the Indiana game, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed every second of it. As Indiana did not fear the deer at all, beating the Bucks with ease, led by as many as 23 points. They win going away. The Pacers have now evened up the series 1-1, and they head back to the Hoosier State Game 3 later in the week. But the drama is on the Milwaukee side. We're all about the drama. This is like an old school radio drama-rama is what this show is. So the drama's in Wisconsin, and is there cause for concern? Let's get right to it. Is there cause for concern for Doc Rivers and the Bucks? And I'm nodding my head. Yes, this was a vintage performance. I have studied the career of Doc Rivers as a coach. He's coached almost every team in the NBA. This was a vintage Doc Rivers coach team performance. And if you're ownership in Milwaukee, I hope you enjoyed that. This should be an illumination situation, as you're now witnessing firsthand why Doc Rivers keeps getting fired everywhere he goes. It's not because he's not a nice guy. It's not because he's not great with the media, right? Debonair Doc, but don't ask him to coach up a team in the playoffs. Playoffs? Yeah. And here's the thing. If you expect Doc Rivers to roll up his sleeves and make some kind of brilliant strategic move, in-game adjustments they're called, you are a fool. You are. Doc Rivers is the epitome of an old-school 1980s infomercial. Clap on, clap off, the clapper. You watch Doc. He reminds me of the old Cowboys coach. He's standing on the sidelines. The Milwaukee Bucks are being run off the court by the Indiana Pacers, and Doc Rivers is standing there, and he's clapping. And it was theater of the absurd. Not that I haven't seen it with the Clippers, and our friends in Philly who are listening saw it, and our buddies in Boston, they saw it too. Everywhere he goes, it's the same act. It's the same act, right? And Pascal Siakam is literally cooking the Bucks on his hibachi, right? He's got his hibachi grill. He's cooking the Bucks, and Doc is doing one of two things. Either he's clapping, come on, boys, come on, play better, come on. Yeah, he's doing that, or he is he's standing there bemused, bewildered, and bedeviled by what's going on. And that means he has his hands in his pockets and he's giving the Elmo, you know that Elmo gif with the shoulder shrug? I don't know. No adjustments, right? No adjustments. Buckle up. Now, I realize that I have trash coaches for years in the NBA. I do believe of all the professional sports, NBA coaches matter the least. But if you're bad at your job and you do nothing other than you're good with the media, I don't know how that there can be a positive. There can be something other than I'm the motivational guy. So that is a preview if you're listening in Milwaukee or anyone there that likes the Bucks, Buck country. If that's a thing. I don't know if that's maybe that's not a thing. But watch out because the Pacers will be enjoying some venison several more times here in the playoffs.